Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Craft Parenting Podcast.
The podcast about two Cincinnati craft beer lovers with a parenting problem and a mild streaming problem because it's been a hot second since we have done this.
No problems. I was just making sure we had sound. People in the chat, can you hear me? Of course, there's like a 15-minute delay. So
yeah. No, the streaming problem was more the monitor is way over that way, and we're getting old now, so it's harder to read the text.
The buttons are the text is so tiny. So welcome back to the Craft Parenting Podcast. My name is Joe. Some of you may not recognize me because I've been not on the podcast the last
Stranger danger.
last couple
Stranger
weeks.
danger.
Yes. Caroline has been having all of the fun by herself. She, of course, went to Voodoo Brewing in downtown on the Fountain to interview the Gnarly Gnome quite a few weeks ago at this point.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago.
And that was pretty fun and pretty normal because like the bartender was nice and there weren't a lot of people there. So nobody was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you guys went well, you work first shift, so you get off at like 2:30.
Yeah.
So you met him.
It's rough out here.
You met him at like 3 or 3:30 or whatever.
Oh yeah. he had a beer in hand when I got there.
So I was working, so I couldn't do that. And then of course, the most recent episode, you basically did a solo episode, our first solo episode, basically.
Yeah. Other than the beer vent stuff at Hearth Brewing, which was a lot of fun. But there were a lot of people that were like, what's this chick doing? What's going on over there? Because in their defense, I had a 10-person table all to myself until Larry showed up, which was like 3/4 of the way into me recording. And it was just me talking to myself.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like an influencer out in the wild. And I was like, I don't want to be the zoo exhibit today. But it was a lot of fun. The beers were good. I had like 2 or 3 different people come up to me afterwards and ask about the podcast, so that was fun too.
So yeah, so I'm back.
Back.
Yes, and of course we are drinking some beer. Mm-hmm. And Caroline, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Fretboard Natty Dread, part of their reggae series. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout, which this one is an ale brewed with Maverick chocolate and toasted coconut, natural flavor added. It is 10% ABV and 40 IBU. I'm going to have fun tonight.
Okay. Yeah, that is a big beer. I'm sure.
I'm trying to drink my fridge.
When did you... It's not even that old, really, right?
It said it was canned in January, so it's like mildly old, but I'm 95% sure that I got it in Fretboard Harrison.
Yeah, I think that's correct. So I am drinking a winter lager by Sam Adams. Now
we literally just had Halloween. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but now that it's Halloween is over, it's okay to have Christmas beer or winter lagers.
I mean, I guess if you can get an Oktoberfest beer in July, you do you, boo.
But of course, if you are in the chat, say hello. I see.
Marco has done that already. He is currently drinking a Best Day West Coast NA IPA.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds yummy. I hope you're enjoying it. And also says people in the chat with some air quotes. Okay, audio's working. That's good. Joe's double checking that right now.
I was trying to read the chat because I can't over there. So how is the Best Day West Coast? Is that it's a non-alcoholic beer. That's what the NA stands for. But I'm curious who makes it and how it tastes. So Back people in the chat. Yep. Yeah. You're your people, Marco. You're the best people because we blasted this out.
Next week, we do drink St. Patrick's Day beers. Joe did not notice that I set out a Guinness glass for him just because I was like, it's a glass that's about the same size and shape as mine, so we'll make it work. And instead, he went with a Bachfest glass, which we have like 30,000 Bachfest glasses, but we don't have one from this year or last year or maybe the year before. We were collecting them, and then we kind of stopped.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't know that they sell them because it's different. Bachfest is so different now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they still sell merch. I just don't know where.
That's the thing. Yeah, where do you sell the merch?
It was probably Rheingeist, and we didn't go to Rheingeist.
I mean, it's possible. Marco says it's an okay NA beer. So,
I mean, for an NA beer, that's like 10 out of 10. So,
as long as it's not bad, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Of course, they charge about the same price.
Yeah, sometimes a little bit more because there's more work that has to go into it. It's crazy, but...
So if it's an okay beer, I don't know that I would pay for it. But if it's free, and if you're doing research, maybe you can write it off as a business expense, Marco.
Yeah.
So more housekeeping. If you are in the chat, please comment and smash that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe because we are trying to get to 50.
So that I can go live when I am talking to myself at Hearth. And then hopefully I'm not talking to myself. I can at least have like a person in the chat.
Well, yeah. So I don't know how that'll work, but because you won't be able to have the mics, but
I will find a way to make it work. I will engineer.
If we just want to go live, like on the tablet, like, and we're upstairs, like, I don't know. I kind of want to see how that will work. Mm-hmm. You know, so we're trying to get to 50, and then YouTube will do its thing, and it probably will take a while for it to verify us.
A little bit.
But yeah, it's a whole process. So we want to go live on the go. But we've been very busy over the last few weeks, so we're going to talk about that. The first thing that we did, I guess, kind of late in the season, first thing that you're going to talk about at least, we went to the pumpkin patch very late this year.
Yeah.
We usually go in mid-September.
The second or third week, the pumpkin patch is pumpkin patching is when we try to go. So not the first week, because the first week is very much like, you can pumpkin patch, and we have like 4 things for you to buy in the store. And then as the season progresses, they add a bunch of stuff into the store. But then once you get late enough into the season, they're like, hey, we're not buying any more stuff for the store. So what you see is what you get. We had talked about going a lot sooner, except I got pneumonia, and then Lily got pneumonia, which completely killed any plans of pumpkin patching. And then we just had the busyness that is scheduled with small children. So by the time we finally found a Sunday that we could go, that was a Bengals game, but we had to get as much done before the Bengals game as possible.
Yeah, so the inside scoop, if you want to get to the pumpkin patch, especially this late in the season, a good tip is to go early. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as they open, try to go. We went after church, so I didn't really plan very well. I thought we were going home like between.
No, you can't do that.
I wore dress shoes.
That is a you issue, but we
So I wore my dress shoes to the pumpkin patch.
It was fine. You didn't break your ankle. That's like a win.
Yeah.
Nobody broke their ankle at the pumpkin patch this year. So
you didn't break your ankle though.
Fracture. Nobody fractured their ankle at pumpkin patch this year.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah, so that would be the tip that I would recommend is to go early and beat the crowd. Of course, there was still a pretty big crowd. We got there about 10:30, 10:45.
We got there a lot closer to 11. By the time we drove out there and stuff, but which is when the stuff opened, as far as like you can get a bus, you can get a hay wagon to the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, there was quite a few people there, which is a little surprising. The Bengals did play.
I think it won.
They play. Yeah, they did. They played at one
because you and your dad were both itching to leave, and I'm like, the kids have a barrel train ticket. We gotta do the barrel train.
Was that the game that they blew? I think that was the game that they blew.
That sounds like a Bengals thing to do, so I'm going to go with yes.
So that was like 2 weeks ago?
Yes, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, my biggest tip for the pumpkin patch is go early and go often. Because the earlier you go to the pumpkin patch, the more often you can return to the pumpkin patch and increase the pumpkin decor that is in your house. I just had to go, I had to spend all my money at once. So it was actually a lot of money instead of like $30 here and $30 there. So it all adds up in the end.
Wait, why go often?
Because the pumpkin patch is fun.
I think once is enough though. per year.
No. We just won't take you the second time we go.
Marcus says Joe went in church clothes and everyone was dressed for Oktoberfest.
That's about right.
No, they were not dressed for Oktoberfest. During Donauschwaben Oktoberfest, so that first week in October, that's when we were going basically straight from church to Donauschwaben.
My plan was that we were going straight from church to Donauschwaben, but then we had to stop back at the house so some people could change.
And that's when I was in a khakis and non-German garb, and everyone else was in their German garb.
It's much easier if you can get the kids in one outfit for the day. It's like we've got Christmas photos coming up. There will be a decoy outfit before we change into the Christmas photo outfit for the kids. But actually, maybe. It might just be they'll be in jammies until we're like, Christmas photo clothes. And then get in the car and go. But yeah, with the kids, it's much easier to go straight from jammies to this is what you're wearing for the day.
Yeah, so I do have a reason why I wasn't in German garb. It's because lederhosens, or at least the lederhosen that I have, it's not super comfortable. I need to lose a couple of pounds. And also it was cold.
It was chilly.
So, they're basically shorts.
Yeah.
So,
I have a lot of flexibility in what I can wear.
Yeah.
I don't have as many options as I used to, but I have a lot of flexibility in the clothes.
Right. And I don't have a black vest.
We're working on it.
So yeah, that is a project that we are working on.
Which the black vest is like formal clothes for the Donauschwaben.
Yeah. So once I get that, I'll be able to wear that out.
Okay. Marco says you were dressed as Jim Harbaugh. Who's that? Harbaugh? Is this a sports ball thing, Marco? I don't know sports ball. I'm not as... What, do you know that reference? Because I don't know that reference.
Oh, why don't we Google it? So let's continue talking about the pumpkin patch, and I will Google it.
He's a football coach.
Okay.
The Chargers. Okay. He probably wears khakis a lot. I don't know. Sports ball. But yeah, so we got there and the kids went and played in the play areas, which was nice. Brown's Family Farm Market is where we go every year, and I love it every year. They changed up their layout this year, which was really nice too, because they spread out all the little buildings that the kids get to play in. and the combine was still fun. And I think they changed up their kids' maze too. We still have not done the corn maze because the kids are not old enough to.
Is this the Michigan coach?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, he did go to pro. That's right. That sounds like a thing. I need to know enough about sports ball to talk about sports ball at work. Otherwise,
I don't get the reference though. Why am I the Michigan coach who went pro?
Muck Fishigan is all I gotta say on that one.
You're gonna have to explain your sports ball references, Marco.
It's not funny if you have to explain it though, Joe. So we got there. The kids got to hang out while we waited for the rest of the family to join us that was going to join us that day. And the first thing that I did was run to the market so I could get tickets for the hay wagon and get a reasonably timed ticket for the hay wagon. Because one thing that will happen later on in the day is you get there at 1. Well, the earliest time you can buy for the hay wagon is 2. So you got to hang out for at least an hour before you can go to the pumpkin patch. Now, they have pumpkins out.
It's by design.
Yeah. So you don't have to go to the pumpkin patch if you don't want to. But let's be real. You want to go to the pumpkin patch.
You do. And I guess they rotated their fields this year because we went way back to their property.
Yeah, it was a field that we hadn't been to before, and we've been going there the last 5 years. That sounds right because Lily just turned 5. Maybe 4 years.
We didn't go the first year.
Because we didn't go the first year she was born. I was not going to be one of those crazy people that took a newborn to the pumpkin patch with just a newborn because that ain't for the newborn. That's for me, and I don't want to have to deal with that.
Lily was very vulnerable.
Lily was also vulnerable, which played a big role in what we did or did not do in the fall time. But I still was not a huge fan of, I'm going to go take a newborn to a pumpkin patch for an hour and a half. And I didn't want to do that. I'm lazy, I guess. But the kids had fun doing that. And then we got on the hay wagon. We were one of the last families to get onto the hay wagon from the pumpkin patch again this year, which was a first for us. Mostly because the kids had issues picking out pumpkins. Elliot didn't want any of the ones that we pointed out, probably because they weren't his idea. Because if it's not his idea, he doesn't want to do it.
He's very headstrong. Let's put it that way.
Example, the other day, it was right before bed, and the kids said they were hungry. And I said, well, the only thing you can have right now is a bar. And guess what? You get to choose between blue or green. And Mama just pulled 2 blue out, so I guess it's blue. Elliot was very unsatisfied until I had put the bar that I had already started to unwrap back in the closet so he could then pull it out of the closet and take it to the table. Once he was the one who had taken it to the table, he was fine. But before that, not so much so.
Yeah. And story number 2 for Elliot, because he's coming out of his shell quite a bit. He's talking more. You can understand him. He knows what he wants.
And he is not afraid to tell you
that
you are wrong.
So, like I said, Caroline works first shift, so she's gone by 6.
Yep, 6.
You leave at 6. So it's my job to get the kids ready. And I don't know what that is.
It's a bug, but I missed it.
So it's my job to get the kids ready and dressed and fed and out to school. So one morning, I think this was last week, I was getting Elliot up. Lily was, she was doing her thing in the bathroom or whatever, getting ready or whatever. And I pick out Elliot's clothes. I give him 2 choices, a green sweatpants and a red sweatpants. And he goes, no, I don't want that. I don't want pockets. So we argue. We proceed to argue. This is like a negotiation thing.
Meanwhile, me and Lily are like, it has pockets with anything that has pockets in it.
So yeah, we're negotiating. This probably takes 10 minutes, which is why we're always late. Something we have to negotiate something and go back and forth. But that's a different issue. But so we're going back and forth, and he goes, I want to pick it out. So then he goes and picks it out, and he picks a navy blue sweatpants that has like a little airplane on it, I think.
Yep.
And he picks it out. He wants that, and I didn't point this out to him until we were out the door. But I was like, Elliot, that has pockets. And he's like, oh, I love it.
When it's his idea, it's great.
Yeah.
If it's your idea, not so much. So yeah, so pumpkin patch, we get our pumpkins. Lily wants the biggest pumpkin. Which she got close, but she did not get the biggest pumpkin this year. We forced Elliot into picking a green pumpkin because he wanted a green pumpkin, but everyone we pointed to, he said no to. And then, like, I told both the kids going out there, I have first right of refusal on pumpkins because I didn't want them to get something that had been, like, cracked open or had been eaten by bugs, so it wasn't going to survive until Thanksgiving.
And then my sister picked out something that was exactly that.
Yep, we're like halfway back from the pumpkin patch, and she's like, "What's all this dirt on my pumpkin?" And I'm like, "That's not dirt. Something's been eating it." Oh.
So that's the second tip, I guess. It's to inspect the pumpkin.
Yeah,
that's like very critical to do.
Inspect your pumpkin before you leave the actual pumpkin patch. Make sure it doesn't have any like major bruising, cracks, bugs eating it. Especially if you want it to survive longer than Halloween. If all you're going to do is carve it and it's something small that you can like add into your carving, you're probably fine. But I like to not carve the pumpkins that we get from the patch so we can have them up for Thanksgiving. So we get our wagons. I power walk through the market. I was very good this year. I only bought honey. I didn't buy anything else in the market. Now, before the market, I bought 3 decorative pumpkins and 8 mini gourds. But it's for my mantle.
It does look good.
It does look really good.
Yeah, my wallet did not like that, though.
It was on my card, so it was fine.
I thought you took my card.
Maybe did I?
I thought you did.
No, I didn't. I took your card for something else, I think.
Okay.
But so like the kids love taking the mini pumpkins around the house. Oh yeah, when we were in the pumpkin patch, Elliot wanted a small pumpkin. There were not a lot of small pumpkins in the pumpkin patch because his biggest issue was, I can't carry that. And I'm like, Bud, there's not a lot of stuff that you can carry. It's probably your phone then. But Judy found this itty bitty pumpkin that's like this big. Mm-hmm. And he was in love with it. Unfortunately, that might have to go be deer food soon because the kids found some cookie cutters and attempted to cookie cut out the pumpkin. And it's getting a little swishy. It might be because we have friends that are at T-Swizzle right now. So I might be getting T-Swizzle notifications. So we got all our pumpkins weighed. I spent a ridiculous amount of money on pumpkins, but they're all adorable and they're going to last me through Thanksgiving. And that's the important thing.
Can't put them on your front porch, though.
I can if I spray them with the deer stuff that I have to remember where I put. Did you find it when you were cleaning out the garage today?
No.
It's in there somewhere. I'll find it.
It probably got more buried, to be honest.
Uh-oh. I put him on the back porch though, so the back porch gets to stay nice and pretty. So it's fine. And the kids played in the playgrounds a lot more while I was doing that. So it was nice. We didn't take away from their playtime. We were getting ready to go to lunch/dinner. And then I was like, oh no, I have barrel train tickets in my pockets. Kids, we have to barrel train. Because they had asked like 30 times when they could go on the barrel train. And we're like, soon.
Do we have to explain what the barrel train is?
Maybe. So the barrel train is a small tractor that pulls 55-gallon blue drums that have wheels put on them and seats that have been fashioned out of the cutouts of other blue 55-gallon drums, and seat belts and like little clicker belts for the semblance of safety about them. And it basically just like does a little loop and comes back. And the kids are like, this is the best thing ever. And I'm like, bar is very low. Great.
It's very, very creative.
It is. And the kids enjoy it. So glad they got to do that. And then we've been surviving dinners out or meals out without any kind of technology or with limited technology, thanks to our dollar store folders and having a stash of coloring supplies and activity books and stickers that's just like, here, this is only used when we go out and about.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of, one, we don't have games on our phone, like games for our kids on our phone.
Nope.
And we don't give our kids our phone. Like we don't put on YouTube or whatever when we're out. My mom and dad, however.
Marco says, and in a blink of an eye, they go from the barrel train to the party train.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But my mom and dad, however, they've gotten into the habit of they download all these games on their phones, and Elliot just grabs the phone.
And he's like, okay, let me in so I can go play my Thomas game or my dinosaur game.
And he knows how to do it. He knows how to swipe. And lately he's been kind of aggressive, like as much as a 3-year-old can be aggressive. And he's kind of just grabs our phones. And he really likes to take pictures.
Anytime I take a picture,
selfies.
he wants to see the picture that I have just taken and then wants to take 30,000 pictures.
Yeah, and he's kind of aggressive about it. And he doesn't want to give the phone back, and he really likes the phone. But our phones don't have the games, but he knows that it's a device that can have games on it if we choose to.
Yeah, well, and when we go out too, it's not, oh, hey, we're at the table, here's my phone. It's, hey, we're at the table, let's see how long we can go before I start pulling stuff out of the diaper bag. Versus sometimes, like, if we meet his parents somewhere, it's, oh, well, each kid is doing something with the phone right now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but there's only so much I can do with the grandparents. But
yeah,
the whole idea was Caroline went to the dollar store one time and
spent way more money than most people spend at the dollar store.
And picked out a ton of crafts.
We still have a bunch that we haven't opened up yet.
Yeah.
Because the point is that I can, when they get bored with the stuff that's in there, I can pull stuff out and put in new stuff.
And so that they can still exercise their mind with enrichment and stuff like that, with coloring and art and puzzles and stuff like that, stickers. But they're not, they're not like on the phone with a screen.
So Joe needs something from the diaper bag about 10 minutes after we get there because he starts getting bored. So I've got some snacks in there for him too. And an old people large print crossword. Works out very well.
Large print.
You said the print on the computer is too small.
It is too small. Like it's
I think they expect you to be using the webcam as your video, which we definitely are not.
Well, OBS is like, that's production. So
Yeah. We turned off the,
typically there's a producer.
yeah. Clara, she's down here at maybe.
So typically, like if you're doing like a live show, there's a producer with the camera and the computer, and they can like put in different graphics, which I should have done that, but I forgot. I do have a like, subscribe animation. I could put in that, and I could just click on it, but I didn't load it, so.
Yeah, I went somewhere with the kids.
I'll have to figure that out.
And Joe was like sending me messages cursing OBS or Photoshop or something that I don't really understand.
It was a Premiere.
Okay. Yeah.
Premiere is the video application.
Okay. And he was like, I made a GIF and it took forever because I had to clean up this animation.
It's not a GIF. It's a GIF. GIF is a picture with a transparent background.
Okay.
This is a video. It's an animation with a transparent background. So it's very similar, but
those
it's different.
Those are so different. So different. I know they're different. I'm being dramatic.
The steps were very different. And that's
you guys should have seen the daggers that Joe just stared at me. You can't because the brim of his hat, but he was like, I will end you. They are so different.
That was the cause of the frustration because I guess I didn't do it right, or it works different. Mm-hmm. Video works different than pictures. Like I guess that's pretty obvious when I say that out loud, but
sometimes we need to say stuff out loud so we can better understand it.
But for the people who don't work in that stuff, like me and I guess you, because you're an engineer, but it's a different process. And
I can make a 3D model of it.
Sure, but how does that help?
It doesn't. Okay, so pumpkin patch was lots of fun. 10 out of 10, recommend. Wish that we would have gone to like 8 pumpkin patches this year like I had planned on in my head.
8?
But, yeah. There's blooms and berries. People talk about that one a lot. A lot of them are like far away though. Probably should go to Burwinkle at some point, which is literally just down the street from Brown's. You can almost see them from each other because they're really popular too. But I like Brown's. It's a lot of fun.
I like how they have the playground, and part of the playground is a legit turbine, right?
Combine.
Sorry.
Combine. Turbines are what I dealt with at GE.
It's a legit combine. I don't know where that came from.
They rhyme at least.
Yeah, but
they both have spinny things.
Yeah, so that they put a slide on it, and they built a deck in steps.
Mm-hmm. They had it last year too. The kids really enjoyed that last year.
And so that was the pumpkin patch. Mm-hmm. Do you want to move on to Halloween?
Sure. So Halloween this year, Cincinnati did what Cincinnati does. A week and a half or a week out from Halloween, weather's going to be great on Halloween night. Like not a cloud in the sky, like 60 degrees. So like great. Maybe you put a light jacket on over your costume, but I don't have to plan on like heavy winter gear to get you around the neighborhood. Like, sweet, we're going to end up with so much candy. This is going to be a blast. And as we slowly got closer and closer to Halloween, hey, it's going to sprinkle. Hey, it's going to rain. Hey, it's going to rain, and there's going to be high winds. There might be a tornado advisory. We'll update on that as we get closer to it.
I don't remember there being a tornado advisory.
There was not. Fortunately, that changed. And yeah, Marco, see, I disagree because he says the weather is never nice on Halloween. Maybe it's because I was younger and I didn't care as much, but I do not remember any of the years that I ran around not supervised by an adult for Halloween. So like probably like fifth grade to 18, maybe even as young as fourth grade. And maybe we did have like an adult supervisor in like fourth and fifth grade. It was just, they hung back a lot because we had our group of neighborhood kids that we'd hang out with. I don't really remember, like, I remember it being cold some years, but I don't remember it raining. Like the cold I can deal with. It's the rain. Last year it snowed. Slash was kind of rainy and was so cold. But
it did. There was like a, what do you call it? A snow
squall.
Snow squall.
Yeah. Enough that it was
In
like
Harrison.
mini blizzard. Hope you're not driving right now because you can't see 10 feet in front of you. Don't crash and die. It's like, sweet. This is awesome. I mean, I was already at the place that I needed to be when that happened. But it was like, I am setting up the bonfire and it's snowing? Okay.
It only snowed for like, what, 5 minutes, maybe.
It was so weird.
It was weird.
Marco says it's global warming's fault, which is probably true.
Because of it snowing?
Yeah, it's climate change. Yeah, definitely Canadian geese. I saw so many Canadian geese on Halloween. I look up at one point and it's like 100 of them up in the sky. And I'm like, what the hey? Where did all y'all come from?
Oh, they're migrating, aren't they?
They are. It's gonna be cobra chicken season here. Yay, cobra chicken.
Do they go up north?
No, they come south.
Oh, they're going south.
Yeah, because they want to be warmer than it is super cold.
I don't know. I feel like they're always here, though.
Yeah. One of the places that I used to work at had a pond, and like we just accepted, like if you're going to walk the track, look out for goose poop, and also look out for geese. If there are baby geese around, just turn around and just do short loops, like short U's, because you don't want to have to deal with one of them attacking you.
Yeah.
But the kids were totally up for it. Elliot was a dinosaur train. And thanks to last year, him deciding that he was going to wear his Thomas the Train outfit for all of like 30 seconds, I was not going to invest in any kind of elaborate costume for him when I had a dinosaur costume and a train costume already in the house. So, stick Elliot in his dinosaur costume and put the train costume on top. And I'm like, Bud, you're a dinosaur train. And he's like, yay. Like, what does a dinosaur train say? Roar, choo choo. It was so adorable.
Yeah. I think that was his idea too.
It was totally his idea. Like at least as far as like what he was his idea. Lily went through a few different things, one of which was a cowgirl. And I was like, dang it, if you're going to be a cowgirl, I have to dig out my other cowgirl hat and hope that it's still okay, or buy you a cowgirl hat. Because I went as a cowgirl this year. And then she decided that she wanted to be a witch again. And I was like, sweet, we have all the stuff for that at home too.
Again?
She was a witch last year.
She was a witch last year?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it better be his idea or he wouldn't have done it. That is very true, Marco. So we get the kids dressed up in their costumes. Fortunately, they didn't need coats. Did Lily have? No. I carried raincoats with me, but we never used them, which was annoying because I had raincoats with me for the whole time.
Elliot's costume was pretty layered.
Yeah, Elliot had lots of layers. Lily did not, but she had a cape, and she was fine. So our plan was, let's get down one half of the street and then see how the kids do. And the kids were like, run, 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 run. So I had given them little felt baskets. Elliot's was a dinosaur, of course, and Lily's was a Frankenstein's monster, which we were very clear. It is Frankenstein's monster. That is not Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a doctor. That is Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein is a psychopath doing experiments on different things.
Yes, also that. But we didn't cover that because she's 5.
Oh, okay.
So I did my old standard of pillowcases. So I had 2 pillowcases on my person. And by the time we got down one side of the street, their baskets were getting kind of full. So I was like, okay, kids, you're going to dump your basket into this pillowcase. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I have a blue pillowcase for Elliot and a pink pillowcase for Lily. Favorite colors. Well, favorite-ish colors. It works. And they're like, but I want my candy.
Yeah, they didn't understand.
And I'm like, kids, this is so you can get more candy because we can only fit so much candy in the baskets that you have. Oh. And then like every other house, they were like, can I dump my candy in the pillowcase? And I was like, no. This is like in every 10 or 20 houses kind of thing. Once it gets kind of full, then we do it.
Yeah, so I don't know that we said this. We went to my parents' neighborhood in Harrison.
For the second year in a row.
Yes.
Because the houses are closer together.
There's a lot.
Apparently it's where everybody goes in Harrison these days, this year, whatever. Because a lot of people that I work with live in Harrison. And they're like, yeah, nobody came downtown this year. Because they used to all, like if you weren't going to trick or treat in your neighborhood, you would go to downtown Harrison. Now they all go to your parents' neighborhood.
It's a really big neighborhood. We maybe did 5%. 2%.
5% is probably the highest possible of what we did. We did a giant loop. Or we did a semi-big loop. We went up 2 streets and then came back.
Yeah, we did not get all of the houses.
No, because we zigzagged across the street once, like for a street, and Joe's sister complained about that a lot.
I want to say they probably got how much weight do you think they got in and candy?
Oh, at least 5 pounds each.
5 pounds each.
I think so.
Yeah, because you go to Kroger and you get those big bags. Those are 5 pounds, right?
I think so.
So that's basically what they got.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of candy for a little kid.
it was. And unfortunately, one of the houses wasn't handing out Jell-O shots this year, but that was okay. Elliot went to every single house, even the ones he was mildly scared of. So I was very proud of him for that. We had to go farther.
People went all out.
Yeah. Most people were sitting in their driveway or on their front porch, or they would have a basket of candy out on their front porch. When we were 90-ish% of the way done with what we ended up trick-or-treating that night, there was one house that was decorated and the lights were on. And I'm like, okay, kids, go up and knock. And like, it's got zombie decorations all over the place. And like the door says like, don't open dead inside or something to that effect. And I'm like, they're definitely all decked out for it. And the kids knock on the door and it's somebody in costume and hands them a heaping fistful of candy each. Cause we saw at least like 5 people pass that door. Cause a lot of the kids were just like only going to the houses that were easy. Cause I remember as a kid knocking on doors and people would have like they'd have their glass door closed but their door into their house open, so they'd come and say like hi and give you your candy, but it would be rare that you would see somebody sitting out in their driveway. Now my mom after a while my mom started doing that with her neighbor, and then like there was a few like private drives in our neighborhood where like there'd be like 4 houses down a like slightly larger than 1 lane driveway. So like those 4 families would hang out at the bottom of their driveway and have like a bonfire, and it'd be like, okay, pick a piece of candy from each of the 4 bowls that are sitting out here on this table, and they'd all be shooting the breeze. But for the most part, like, we would go 2 doors and we would knock on them, and that's definitely doesn't seem like that's a thing anymore, which is weird. But also, like, when we were at Brant Manor, if we could, we would hang out in the driveway.
Yeah. I mean, when we were at Brant Manor, a lot of the neighbors were older.
Yeah.
So a lot of them didn't do trick-or-treating.
Yeah, we like had to make our presence known and hope that kids would see us over the hill.
These days, it's very much a younger neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a shame because we kind of moved in at the wrong time. Because now there's a bunch of kids and stuff.
We moved in at the right time. I have no regrets.
No, I don't have any regrets. But as far as like socialization and stuff like that, there wasn't a whole lot of socialization with the neighbors.
Yeah.
Until, we moved. Because we're still friends with the neighbors who moved in,
yeah,
across the street from our old house. But
yeah, so the kids had a lot of fun. Elliot was good about going up to every house and like saying trick or treat. We'd say, hey, did you say thank you? And they'd start like running back up the driveway to go say thank you. And we're like, you don't have to do that. One time Lily Lily trick or treated at a place like 30 seconds before Elliot did. And she came around to check on her brother. And the guy handed her candy, and she's like, I was just here. He's like, oh, well, you get more candy this way. Less for me to eat.
I feel like the neighborhood on Harrison, it's just a more...
Bye, Marco. Thanks for coming.
It's a more... see you, Marco. It's a friendlier neighborhood. Like, there's lots of people there. The neighbors know each other. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of why they stay out and have bonfires and stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the neighbors were like, they had like a home base. Like some of them were in their neighbor's garage or the canopy that they set up.
Yeah, there were definitely a few houses where it was like, okay, there were 2 or 3 houses that were at that house while we were there. And then Lily was a little negotiator. So like, one of the first houses that we went to, or at least in like the first 20 or 30 houses that we went to, had a bowl. It was the first house we had encountered that had a bowl on the front porch. And I was like, okay, take 1. And Joe was also like, take 1. And I'm like, I'm going to go up on the porch with them to like monitor this. And we're like, hey, there's the camera. Big Brother's watching. And Lily's like, but the sign says 2. Because she may not be able to read, but she knows numbers. And that was not a number 1 on the sign. It was a number 2. Like, okay, yep. The sign says take 2. So I guess you can take 2. We're just trying to spread out the Halloween joy for more people.
No, I would watch her go up to, someone in their garage and they would give her, some type of candy and she would be like, can I have this candy instead? Yeah,
she knows what she likes.
So that
she's not afraid to ask for it.
She would try to negotiate and trade with the trick-or-treaters, which that's not something that I did.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's like super, polite or whatever, but it's kind of funny.
What I kind of...
In hindsight, at least.
Yeah. What I kind of tried to start with the kids this year was what I did with my friends when I was growing up, where we would all end up at one of our houses after trick or treat was done, and we'd dump out our candy and we would make 2 or 3 piles. The pile of stuff that is definitely mine, do not try to take it. The pile of stuff that like, I'm willing to trade with this, and the pile of stuff that like, I don't want this. So like, I don't like Twizzlers, but my friend likes Twizzlers. I'll give her all my Twizzlers in exchange for some of the stuff that I like. So we ended up with stuff that we liked. Or the like, hey, as I'm like swinging, if I manage to swing by my house again, hey, Mom, here's a bunch of candy that I don't want. Try to give it to other people so it's not in our house.
My mom literally took my candy and my brother's candy and combined them into a big bowl.
I will not do that to our children. I refuse to do that. They worked hard for that candy.
There was a lot of candy, though.
There is a lot of candy upstairs right now. Now, will I steal candy from my kids' candy stashes? Yes. Once I've gone through my candy stash. I'm not a heartless monster. But I also have told them about the mom tax, so they know that it's a possibility.
Yeah, we're teaching them about taxes and how it's left.
Yeah, and so what we've been doing since Halloween is like, oh, hey, let's do 3 pieces of candy after dinner. So you pick out what those 3 pieces of candy are. I'm not choosing them for you. And then after dinner, you get to eat those.
Now, we will need to combine them because they can't sit in the refrigerator, or not the refrigerator, the microwave forever.
Yeah, at some point, I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to do with them. But that day is not today.
We're going to put them in a bowl and then combine them.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Because, like, I tried to have the kids, like, lay out their candy and, like, have Lily end up with all the Twizzlers because Elliot doesn't like Twizzlers. But they were not into that. Elliot just ended up throwing everything back into his pillowcase. He's like, I like all of it. Sure you do, bud. Okay.
So that was Halloween, I think, unless you have other stories.
Nope, that's most of. Well, so yeah, so afterwards we watched Hocus Pocus for like a hot minute. It was enough time for like the kids to get into jammies and chill out, us to chill out a little bit.
We probably got halfway through it.
Yeah, and then put all the stuff into the car so we could head back home.
Yeah. We drove separate. You went over early.
Yeah. And so you found parking spot. My mom joined us and she almost did not find a parking spot. I had to convince her to parallel park in front of your parents' driveway. And then I had to parallel park her car in front of your parents' driveway. My car is smart. It's keyless. Well, it's the remote key. It's a fob.
Is that your mom's car anywhere?
Let me get there. So my mom's car is also that. So with my car, if you exit the car with the key, the car yells at you on the inside and the outside. So like, hey, you're taking the key out of the car. Please don't do this. You're going to have issues. But you can still do pretty much whatever you want to with the car as long as the car is still on. Mom's car, that fob leaves the car, you are dead in the water. So Mom refused to try to parallel park her car. So I was like, okay, I'll do it for you. She exited her car with the fob, and I'm sitting here trying to shift it back into reverse, and it won't go. And I'm like, Mom, is there like 2 buttons that you have to hit? Because I'm hitting the button to use the shifter and it's not working. No, I had to turn her car off and back on again with the fob in the car. And then I was able to operate her car.
Did it beep?
No, it didn't. Because I would have said something like, hey, make sure I got your key.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's probably safer. But because like there have been times where
It didn't beep?
No. I mean, it's only been like once or twice that I've like, I wish I could do this, especially now that the kids are getting older, of like, it's really cold outside or it's really hot outside. Like, I would love to leave the car on and lock the doors without me in it, but the kids are in it, so I can like run and get something and then come back and not have to worry about the kids getting run off by somebody. So what I've done, I think just once, was I locked the doors. I turned the car off, locked the doors, used my remote start. And that's how I kept the car cold or hot or whatever it was that it needed to be while I like ran inside to get something. And then I came back and then I had to like do all the remote start stuff to get my car going again. It was weird.
Okay, so favorite Halloween movies that the kids will like to watch.
They were
Hocus Pocus was a new one.
Yeah. Once then there were like at least 3 different houses that had Hocus Pocus blow-ups in his parents' neighborhood. So 2 of which were on their street. So anytime we left their parents' house, Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus. So that definitely heightened their enjoyment of Hocus Pocus.
And then, of course, Charlie Brown Halloween.
Yes, which you have to buy on DVD. You have to buy all of the Charlie Brown stuff on DVD unless you have Apple TV, which we do not have. Nor does Joe's mom have, and so she's very annoyed. She can't get her Charlie Brown anywhere except our house.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't have a DVD player, so
Nope.
That's kind of her fault.
Yeah. Halloween Town was a new one this year.
Yeah, I don't think they were into it, though.
Lily wanted, as soon as we were like 3/4 of the way through the first one, she was asking to watch the next one and then wanted to watch the next one.
I didn't even know there were 3.
Yeah. And then it was like, because we had seen, maybe I hadn't seen Halloween Town anytime soon, but like I had mildly remembered the plot of it. Did we try to watch it last year? Maybe. And then, but Halloween Town 2, like as we started watching it, my brain started jogging of, oh yeah, you have seen this before, and this is kind of where it's going to go. I didn't remember everything, but I remembered more than I thought that I would.
Oh, yeah. What else did we watch?
The Mary Kate and Ashley Double Toil and Trouble.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. We own that one on Amazon Prime now, so like we have to.
Yeah.
And then Lily's like, I want to watch the movie with Kelly and Lynn. Like she says Kelly and Lynn.
Those are the characters' names.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. And then there's a Thomas compilation of like all of the old Thomas movies or the old Thomas TV shows that involve Halloween.
Yeah.
And that was how we got Elliot his Halloween Thomas that he wanted.
Yeah, that's just on YouTube, so that doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
I think we just rotate between those typically.
And then like Cowboy Jack and Silly Miss Lily have Halloween-ish themed episodes. Well, like Silly Miss Lily has actual Halloween episodes. Cowboy Jack has something about going to a pumpkin patch, so the kids watch that episode like 4 times. And if I picked the wrong Halloween Silly Miss Lily, the kids would tell me within 30 seconds of watching it, no, not this one, the other one. Like, okay. Let me know.
All right. What else have we been up to?
I did a craft fair.
We did a craft fair, yes.
Yeah. Sold my inventory of frothies and have to make more because I have back orders for them. I'm currently making paper stars because those have been... It's a good fidget kind of thing to do, and I always forget how much people like them. So I'm trying to make sure that I have more options for them. And then I might do another craft fair this year. I might not. I'm thinking about doing a craft fair in the spring. I don't know. We'll see. We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, and then the holidays are coming up, so we're getting ready for that.
Yeah. Fortunately, this year, family is preemptive on stuff, which is very rare for them. Well, actually, we already had our first Thanksgiving because his uncle hosted a Thanksgiving at the end of towards the end of October. So that was nice. The kids were like, "Oh, this is Thanksgiving. Okay." And then like we already have one Thanksgiving for sure in the books, and we're working on our second/third one and what that's going to be. And they've already kind of started to talk about Christmas, which is crazy talk. Yeah, and then as mentioned before, our Christmas pictures are coming up. So I got to make sure we've got outfits for those and that we don't wear the same outfits that we wore last year. Mostly the we is me and Joe. The kids have all new outfits to wear because they don't fit in the ones from last year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But we still fit in our clothes from last year. So we need to figure out what we're going to wear.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we have the Advent box is coming.
It
the
is.
Higher Gravity Advent Beer Vent box.
I got an email update on that within the last week. The plan is to pick that up the week of probably like the Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving. We'll have to talk about that.
And
And then whether or not there will be any podsequences with that pickup.
and then, of course, we'll be doing our
25 days, what might be 26 days if we do a pre-box.
well.
We'll see.
We'll have to figure that out because I don't know that we can do 26 episodes, or we might combine them. Who knows?
But I need to figure out. Well, one, I liked the different episodes. That was nice, even if we film like 2 or 3 episodes in a row. And then I kind of want to see. Ooh, I can start prepping on this now because people have their Christmas stuff. How unhinged I can be in my appearance for the beer vent box, and then what your reaction is to that.
Didn't you do that last year?
Yeah, but it wasn't super planned. It just kind of happened. This year I can plan.
Okay.
Oh man, this is going to be fun.
So we are the Craft Parenting Podcast. We're going to wrap things up. If you are listening on YouTube, make sure you
Slam that like button, smash subscribe, ring that notification bell, get super violent with the YouTube subscribe stuff, I guess. People have mentioned lately that it's a little violent that you're slamming and smashing stuff. And I'm like, well, it's what the kiddos say, right? I don't know.
just subscribe and get us to that 50 subscriptions or followers or subscribers.
Subscribers, yeah.
Yes, whatever they call it. They call it different things on different platforms. It's kind of confusing. But we do appreciate you listening. If you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify, give us that 5-star rating and review. And it really helps the show grow. We are Craft Parenting Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, X. We're also on Rumble if you want to watch us on that. We really appreciate your support. You can find me personally at Craft Parenting Joe on Instagram.
And I am at Caroline Creates Crafts on Instagram.
And is there anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time on the Craft Parenting Podcast.
Bye.